Welcome to the Mind Out podcast, a raw and revealing journey into the minds of everyday people and extraordinary thinkers. I am your host, your very humble host, Galim Lidwin, and in this space, we peel back the layers through unscripted monologues, intimate guest interviews, and street-level conversations that explore mental health, relationships, personal growth, and the human experience. In today's episode, The Asylum Within, we meet a young man who came to Belgium. He did not only come to Belgium for pleasure, neither did he come to Belgium for leisure. This young man came to Belgium a couple of years ago to pursue his academic dreams. He came to Belgium to study a master's in political science. But unfortunately, he found himself caught in a 6-year journey to be recognized as a political refugee. As political instability back in his home country worsened, he became an online activist, a voice for change, but how I like to call it, he became a voice for the voiceless. But now, he is faced with a painful reality. The painful reality, which is he may never return to his home country. This is a story of change, a story of courage, a story of resilience, a story of identity, and the quiet grief of losing a homeland without truly saying goodbye. We will explore the emotional toll of exile, the complexity of activism from afar, and the inner transformation that comes with being forced to rebuild a life in a place that may never fully feel like home. Thank you once more for accepting to be on my podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here, share a lot of information.
But today, even though he's my friend, he's here today as a guest in the Mind Up podcast. So he's gonna be giving his. I'm gonna be asking him questions. I'm not gonna be asking questions to him as a friend, but I'm going to be asking the questions as the host of the Mind Out podcast. So the answers that he's going to give to you guys, or the answers that he's going to give to us, are going to be genuine answers. So just to remind all our viewers and our listeners that my guest here doesn't know the kind of questions that I'm going to ask him. So he's not aware of the kind of questions, but of course he's aware of the topic that we're going to talk about today. So without wasting much time, I would like my guest to, of course, I want to first of all thank my guest. Thank you for accepting this invitation. Thank you for making time. You drove almost 2 hours to come here to talk to my listeners and to share your views and your experience with us. It's not easy to get someone who would accept to come and be part of this journey. And I just want to let you know that you are one of the very first guests on this show. And of course, hoping that this is going to be one of many visits into our studio. So would you do us a favor by introducing yourself? Tell us who you are. Not necessarily what you do, but just tell us who is Songo Jacques.
Yeah, fellow viewers and my personal friend, Mr. Ngalim, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to come and present particular information that will be helpful to the public. My name is Nzale Clovis Songe, popularly known as Jacques Songo. I hail from Cameroon, from the English part that we call today Ambazonia, more precisely from Southwest region and Kupe Mwanenguba division under Bangem Sub division. So I came here in 2010, in the mid of 2010, as a student, pursue my master's studies at series in Brussels. So today I'm here, and I am a refugee as a result of the ongoing independent war back in Cameroon between Ambazonia and La République du Cameroon, that is Southern Cameroon and East Cameroon.
Okay.
I am a human rights activist fighting, advocating for the voice, people who cannot put their voice out. That those are people from my place, Southern Cameroonians. I advocate for justice for them. And finally, I'm a refugee. I've been recognized here as a refugee because of my work on the Ambazonian Press for Independence. So I'm based here in Belgium, in Leuven, precisely.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for the very, very detailed introduction. I guess that my listeners and the viewers already can kind of have like a taste of how the podcast is going to go. So going to our first question, can you take us back to the moment you first arrived in Belgium? What were your hopes? What were your fears? And what were your dreams?
First and foremost, when I got here in 2010 as a student, living Cameroon, there wasn't a war at that moment.
Yeah.
My hopes were that if I acquire this master's in international politics, Master of Arts in international politics, I will be able to go back to Cameroon and get a good job so that I can share this knowledge that I've acquired here in Europe back with my people home. But when I got here, I realized that it isn't easy like that, because changing from one environment to another, that is what we call cultural shock, because of the cultural differences between Belgium and Cameroon. I faced a lot of problems of adaptation, problems of I was thinking all my heart was back home when I really faced the real situation here.
So those were the fears that you started inquiring or experiencing while you were in Belgium already. But did you know about these things, these challenges before you left Cameroon?
No, I never knew everything about Belgium. I just knew that studying in Belgium is quite interesting. Studying in Belgium is less expensive as compared to other European countries. I never knew of these cultural differences. So when I got here, when I talk of cultural differences, things like linguistic problems, because here in Belgium, 3 languages are spoken. The Dutch,
French, and the French and German. The
German part. So I happen to live in the Flemish part, which is Leuven.
Okay. So those differences, you kind of experienced them while you were here already. And I can assume that you are managing those differences and those experiences, those challenges. You've been here for quite some time. And what were your dreams before you arrived? What were your dreams? Or you had just like, I'm going to go to Belgium, I'm going to study, I'm going to go back?
My dreams, I can't generalize, but personally, I thought if I get here, because I've witnessed back home, many people who travel abroad and study out, their studies are being respected. And when they come back in Cameroon, it's easier for them to have a good job because of the knowledge they have acquired out of the country. So I thought as well that if I acquire this master's degree, I will have that opportunity, because it's always difficult to have a job in Cameroon. But with this advancement in a master's degree in Europe, it will be easier for me.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things I thought. But when I got here, then with the coupled with the cultural differences, where there are a lot of things, because we don't have snow in Cameroon.
Yeah.
We just have rainfall
And the Hamatan, the dry
That's it.
season. Yeah.
You start experiencing a lot of changes.
Yeah.
After studying here first, then I got the first master's.
Okay.
Before I went to Cameroon on a vacation.
Okay. Can you shift? Can you put the microphone more to your?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Cameroon
Yeah.
on a vacation after, I think that was after 4 years.
After 4 years of being in Belgium.
After 4 years of being in Belgium, because I finished my first master's after 2.5 years getting to, and I inscribed into another master's degree. So I went to Cameroon with the master that I've acquired so boldly, proudly, and I tried to deposit in various places, thinking that I should have a job before coming back here to say farewell to my friends and to Belgium.
Okay.
But the condition was worse than what I left back home. So when I got here, when I came back from holidays, I said, no, it's better. I would try to continue my studies here and see how
Things get in Cameroon.
things get in Cameroon.
Okay.
Or better still, if I could acquire a job in an international company here, because I did a master that is more recognized at the international, within the international atmosphere.
So what did your life look like before the political instability started? What did your life look like before the, because if I can quite remember, the political instability in Cameroon had, to be more specific, the political instability in the northwest and southwest region has been going, the political struggle has been going on for a very long time. But before it was, I would say before it got really, how can I say it? Before it was internationalized, or before it got really severe, or before it became, before the escalation level got to like 100. I assume that you were in Belgium already.
Yeah.
And so what was your life like before then? Where were you? You were in Belgium, and what were you doing? How was your life?
Yeah, before the political situation in Cameroon, as popularly known as the Anglophone crisis, many people will say crisis is no longer a crisis, it's a genocide that is going on.
Yeah.
I was doing as much as better because I keep on fighting.
Okay.
Adapting as any other person is adapting.
Yeah.
Working as a student, doing my student job. I was able to take care of myself, my accommodation, my fee, and many other things. So it was better with me before the outburst of that political situation to the international scene. I think that was late 2016.
Yeah.
It was better because during 2016, I finished, I think when we got to 2015, 2006, I finished the second master's as well.
And was that in international relations as well?
Yeah, because I did the first Master of Arts in International Politics.
Yeah.
I took now a United Nations program being sponsored in series, Masters in Governance and Development Policy, because it's a UN Masters program.
So it wasn't self-sponsored?
Yeah, it was self-sponsored.
Okay.
And very expensive.
Wow.
5,000 euros for that course.
Wow.
As a student, I was able to work and pay for that fee.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah. So, what were your first impressions of Belgium? Or what did you feel like after spending, let's say, after your first 2-3 years in Belgium? Did you feel like Belgium was welcoming? Did you feel like, did you feel distant?
Yeah, my impression was that Belgium was welcoming to refugees, and not welcoming to academicians, or in quote, students.
Okay.
Because the laws that were in place at that time never gave any opportunity for students to complete their courses and to get jobs. It's only with the new laws put in place now, just of recent, that if a student finishes his or her program, he's entitled to a 1-year card that is called 6-year card.
Yeah.
And many of them are finding jobs. During my time, there wasn't anything like that. If you finish today, the next 1 week, you shouldn't be here. You close your file and leave. So I saw that Belgium wasn't welcoming for students, for them to try to use the knowledge that the students have gotten here. There is welcoming to be given admission to students for them to come and study. But after their studies, they were not keeping them.
Okay, so because of the fact that you realized that Belgium was not welcoming to students, was that the moment you realized that returning home might no longer be an option? Or when did you realize? When was the first time you realized that returning back home might no longer be an option for you?
Yeah, when I went home the first time, after acquiring my first master's degree in international politics, and I tried to look for a job because I spent a month there, and I couldn't. It was funny. There was no response.
And where exactly did you deposit your documents?
I went to Cerise, to Serut. There was one NGO like that, Serut.
In Cameroon?
In Cameroon, yeah.
And where is it located?
The headquarters is in Limbe. It was chaired by His Honorable Nzongandevu, one huge man. He's popular, he's known Nzongandevu.
Yeah.
It was in Limbe.
Yeah.
I also went to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because they told me there is a department there that recruit people who are even above what did they call the employment age, above 32, but with
is it 32 or 39?
Now it's 32. You can't go for any concours. Wow. But if you have a doctor, masters, reasonable ones like I had here,
you can have an exception.
Yes, they can matriculate you. Okay. When I got there, they told me they have more than 5,000 applications from people who are also highly qualified from Europe and so on. And here, there are no jobs. That is what they said clearly. Then I said, inside of me, I didn't say anything. I just said, if after studying this master's degree, which is very, very renowned, mostly Cameroon is based on politics, and I can't have a job for these 2 sections that I tried to go, then it shouldn't be a matter of wasting my time here. I should get back in Belgium and face the life in Belgium and see how to make things different.
Wow. So, if someone would ask you now, what does the word refugee mean to you? And compare to when you first applied for asylum, because now you are no longer a refugee. Or wait, am I correct? A refugee is I'm going to allow you to answer the question because I'm trying to define the question while I've just asked you. So, what does the word refugee mean to you?
As for me, a refugee is a person fleeing away from danger, be it natural danger, political danger. You can put it social and cultural dangers. That is it.
Okay.
So, to me, as a refugee, being here as a refugee is more receptive than coming here as a student, because I've undergone the 2 processes.
Okay. So, but before you applied for asylum, did you have the same view about refugees?
No, I never knew anything about that. That is the way it is. But because I am a born Ambazonia, when I saw that breakout in Cameroon, where military were shooting harmless civilians, people without weapons who are just holding branches of sticks, trees and so on. Then I also spoke one day when I was going to in a church inside a bus. I made a short video. That is how I started my activism.
And when was this? What
that was in 2016, October.
Okay.
Yes. I made a short video. I said, we, the people of Anglophone regions, we have asked for corporate changes for the government not to temper into our educational system nor the legal system, that is the common law, where when they change the Ohada law and so on. So we are just protesting so that this thing should be arranged. But the way that I saw the government responded and killed students, killed people, I said, no, I'm the voice for the voiceless, because those people, they are being killed, they can't speak. But why should I stay here without telling the world that this is what is happening? That short video I put on my Facebook. At that time, I never started full activism. I just did that just for doing that, because the situation that was going on the ground, it deserved that.
So to let our listeners be in sync with what you're saying. So the fact that the political situation in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon escalated, pushed you to indirectly become an activist. Because before you were just a student,
I was a regular student,
and you were not participating in no activism, stuff like that.
No, I wasn't.
So it was only when in 2016.
Yes.
And then you kind of so someone would say that you kind of become you became an activist out of a situation.
Yes.
Right.
That's it.
So now, did you ever imagine that your student journey would turn into a long asylum process?
I never imagined, because first of all, I never knew that we are going to have a war back in Cameroon, an independent war. Okay. So if there wasn't a war, I wouldn't have been activist for my people. I would not be advocating for my people. So it's as a result of that war, that because nobody planned. We never planned for a war. I never knew leaving Cameroon and coming here, there will be a war. Yeah.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow. So now that all these years pass and you are a staunch activist, you're a known activist, you're a popular activist, how did your family back then, because of course now your family must have gotten over it that Jacques is an activist, so it's all settled now. But how did your family first react to your decision to become an activist or to seek asylum? Were they mad at your decision? Were they supportive? Were there some people in your family, your own family, who were like, no, don't do this because our lives back home might not be safe, or you are going the wrong road? How did it? Can you just let us know how did it go?
My family never knew anything about asylum. They don't even know about asylum, except I will be the person to tell them that there is something like that. But they never took it easy, because La République, the government of Cameroon, has a policy of going after the family members of activists,
wow,
opposition leaders who are against their government, the regime. So that was the fear my family also had, and they have been threatened as well. So, but they never took it. Nobody supported that idea. Some people will say, yes, what we are fighting for in my family is good, but you putting your head in front, your face at the forefront, keeps us on the armway. Then I told them that, but you also have others out. Children of other people who are fighting to free Anglophones. At that moment, I was still calling it Anglophones. So it makes no difference if people are fighting, and this is what I believe in.
Yeah.
There will be sacrifices, but I'm not saying that they should kill you people. You have other family members who abandon our own region or are living in Ghana, in Nigeria. If you could also seek for refuge in the forest, in Nigeria, in Ghana, they will be useful, because I'm not ready in one bit to let go this activism, because I think it is a call that God wants to use me to bring freedom for the people of southern Cameroon who have been marginalized for more than 60 years.
So you think it's God's work that you're doing?
It's God's work.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's nice.
it.
So, so take us to the moment where you are a student, and then you, after having started to do activism, you then realize, of course, before, based on what you're saying, you are a student, the situation escalates back in Cameroon, and then you take up an initiative to say, let me be the mouth of, let me be the voice of the voiceless. And then while you're doing this, I assume there's a point where you say, okay, now that I'm doing this, and because of maybe some, of course, I assume that a lot of people were going to send you emails, inbox, messages to say you are this, you are a separatist, or whatever. So take us to the moment where you decide that, okay, now that I am now publicly known, I want to become, I'm going to become an asylum seeker. Because back then you are still a student. Take us to the moment when you decide, when you take this decision, what is in your mind? What are you thinking? Because you know the consequences of the fact that you want to become a political asylum seeker.
No, I wasn't doing activism to become a political asylum seeker.
Okay.
I never knew in my mind, even right now sitting here, that this war will last for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe I misread La République.
Yeah.
I knew after we must have carried out activism internationally and nationally, just like you saw people marching.
Yeah.
La République will come to her senses and say, no, we are one. We wronged you people.
Yeah.
You know, we are two separate nations, but who came together to build one nice nation.
Yeah.
Let's fix these problems. They will arrange those problems and everything will be settled and there will be peace. That will not give me any permission to be seeking for protection.
Yes.
But so as time goes on and it prolonged, and people were threatening me, both on Facebook when I'm doing the activism, you will say, you are a terrorist. Somebody will be writing under my videos, I know your sister, I know this. He will give the name. He give the direction where they live and the town.
So there are people that knew you personally?
Yes. Even right now, if you go through my videos, you will see like that. That will hurt them if you don't stop.
Okay. So you are being threatened?
Threatened severely.
Okay. And then, so when is the moment you say, okay, because I'm being threatened, because I've now publicly come out to say or to fight for my people, when is the moment you say, okay, now I should officially become an asylum seeker?
Good. So after receiving those threats like that, when I did just few videos, even within Belgium, I was shocked that you had some Anglophones who were in our own parlance. They made a leave that they are thing there. Some were saying he's Amber, he's this. Here also, they never knew. I said, okay, if this is the case, I will need to protect myself properly. In 2017, after His Excellency Sissoko, the first leader of this revolution, visited Belgium. When he was about to visit Belgium, 4 months before he would come, I think 4 to 5 months, I was in my house sleeping. At that moment, I have finished my studies. Even when I was making little videos that I was not severe with the activism, I had a procedure, what they call here regularization. If you have stayed here 5 years, you can apply, you can make a file and you file in through your city hall to say you want them to regularize you because you have stayed here, you have studied, you have done this, you have integrated. So in quote, I was under that procedure without any response. One day, the police, they controlled my address and arrested me. When they arrested me, I've had just 3 videos, short videos. I was not that strong in the asylum, in the activism stuff.
Yeah.
They took me to the closed center, deportation center. There was a European conference for all Ambazonians coming up in Belgium.
Yeah.
I had already paid to see that I paid €100
to participate in
that stuff.
Yeah.
When I was arrested, that movement took place while I was in the detention center.
Yeah.
So I told them that I am the mouthpiece of my people. I come from Kupe Mwanenguba.
Yeah.
I am also the spokesperson, the media and communication secretary of Southern Cameroon, Belgium, because we have what we call SCB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Southern Cameroon, Belgium Association.
Yeah.
I said I had to attend that. They asked me a proof. If I've attended other movements, there have been demonstrations before the Cameroon embassy and the United Nations, the NATO headquarters. I told them I never attended those movements, but I've attended meetings.
Yeah.
So I told them I was the person who received Sisiko Tabe Julius. Yes, Sisiko Tabe Julius already came here.
Yeah.
I said we received him. They said, do you have proof? In that detention center, you don't have any proof. You had pictures, but they were not there.
Wow.
So they tried to carry me to the Cameroon embassy for identification since they never had any passport on me.
Yeah.
That is where I decided, because I have learned that many people who they have arrested on ground zero who are supporting, who are speaking in favor of this movement, they are jailed. And I also got news that one person left from Ghent who attended a meeting of Southern Cameroon, Belgium here. I called the name, I mentioned the name to them. He was arrested in Bangui.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I told them that if you people send me back there, because I know I'm standing to fight for my people, then I will be arrested on arrival. They asked for proof, but because I did not do several videos, but I had just few ones, and I think 1 or 2 were on my Facebook, but just like that, I never knew they would be useful. So the people doubted all those claims. They interviewed me. After a month, I think 2 months, they freed me, saying that I should go out.
So you were.
I decided only in the closed center.
So you were in a closed camp for
2 months.
For 2 months.
Yes.
So within these 2 months, are you being held because you are already an activist, or because you are, or is it because you are on a procedure that you still haven't gotten a response? Because I remember you are on the regularization procedure. So you are on a regularization procedure, and then you get the people from the, I don't know, is it the police or the closed center? I assume that's the government.
The government.
That's the Belgian government. So the Belgian government gets you, takes you to the center, and then why do you need proof to say that you are an activist?
Yeah, because...
Is it at the time when you say, okay, because now you have been detained, the only way for you to survive is to let them know, okay, now I am a... Because of course, like you mentioned, you know that somebody who has attended that conference got detained and then was sent to jail. So are you now is it now because of anger of the political crisis going on in the Northwest and Southwest regions, or because of fear of being deported, or because of something else?
No, when they came to arrest me, they never arrested me as an activist.
Okay.
They said, in quote, I'm illegal in Belgium. I said, no, but that is not possible. Yeah. I removed an attestation that showed that I've applied, annex. They said this is in Dutch, that this is geen identity of a nationality.
Yeah.
That is not an identity or a nationality document. I said, but the document is recognized.
Yeah.
Therefore, you should contact
the people in charge.
They said, they took me to the station. They contacted Brussels. After 1 hour at Philip's side there, Brussels gave a decision instantly that is negative. Wow. That is where they say you are negative.
Now, okay.
I never had negative.
Okay, so you're being detained by the police, and then they contact Brussels, that's the head office, the immigration office.
That's it.
To require confirmation on the present status, that the document that you had.
Yeah.
And you had, prior to that, you had not received any
decision.
But then it's on that moment when they want to check your file, Brussels takes a decision.
Yeah.
So they take a decision and it's negative, and then the police, they tell you, that means you are now illegal.
They say you are illegal.
Okay.
They say you have been illegal now for close to 2 years, and now that Brussels has given this, you need to sign this document.
Wow.
Then I said, I can't sign a document when I don't know the content of the document.
Okay.
They say you are illegal. Your application is irreceivable. What? That's exactly what they said.
Wow.
Okay. I said, if I sign this document, will you let me go? They said, it will depend. Do you have a lawyer? I said, yes. They said they will contact my lawyer. They contacted the lawyer. They said, okay, sign the document, and then we will let you go. You meet your lawyer. When I signed the document, after about 30 minutes, they told me that we have a warrant now to take you to the deportation, to close center. That is how they called it, Meg Plus, beside Holland, the border of Holland and Belgium.
Yeah.
That day they will prepare you on how to take you back to your country. Then I told them there that it's impossible. You can't take me to my country because there is a war there. They said, okay, you will say that when you get there.
Wow.
So that is how I found myself at that closed center, and then they started other procedures to try to take me to the embassy, and I resisted. I never went to the embassy. Said an activist on the Amazonian crisis.
Yeah.
I gave the name of my president here, Baristan there.
Yeah.
I gave the names of others, Secretary General Afu Eugene and many others.
Yeah.
They said, okay, you are no longer illegal, but you are now a refugee and asylum seeker. It's they who told me that they would produce a badge for me and gave me, but on one condition, that you will follow your asylum only within the confine of this closed center. You can't go out, and it will be an express procedure that lasts highest 2 months, together with the appeals and many other things.
But this is normally a procedure that can take many years.
Many years. And they told me that nobody has asked asylum here and gotten positive, and that most of the people who come here to ask asylum are only afraid to go back.
Oh, so that's the reason for which they're asking for asylum.
Yeah, that they are only wasting time. I told them, no, go and find out. I was doing some talking about this. I never had intention, but because of the problem back home, okay, now I'm applying for asylum. That is how I got there.
So that's how you applied, that's how you became an asylum seeker. So, and from there, of course, you continued speaking out for your people, continued activism, and then, I would say, like you said, you after 2 months, you were obviously released. I can imagine you were obviously released from the camp. So, did you ever fear that your activism would affect your safety while in Belgium?
I was never afraid that my activism would affect my safety while in Belgium, because Belgium, the level of security in Belgium is so well organized, guaranteed. There might be loopholes, but not as compared to Cameroon.
Yeah.
But if it was in Cameroon, then it should be a bigger problem. So I knew that doing my activism and applying for asylum will enable me to fight for the complete liberation of the Anglophones. So Those are some of the reasons. And secondly, the main reason, because I saw they were arresting people that were being deported from here, deported from Belgium, deported from America. You have people like Dr. Francis is Ghana. You have a lot of people, even Cameroonians, with American nationality, but just because they spoke like I'm speaking on the social media, they were stopped at the airport when they went to Cameroon. So I mentioned all those cases.
Wow. So how do you balance speaking out with the reality of being far from the people you're fighting for? Because now, of course, you're speaking out, and then a lot of people might have their own opinions. So how do you balance this? Coming out and saying, of course, what is right, with the reality of the fact that you are far away from the people that you're actually speaking out for. Because someone will say, go down and go and speak down.
They don't say like that. A genuine, a true, and a die-hearted Southern Cameroonian, a son of soil and daughter of soil, doesn't say like that. Anyone who says like that, who happens to be an Anglophone, will be one of those people who are elevated slaves to the fourth-class citizens by La République, who are either because you have been given a good position, you are now forgetting about your own people. Those are the people who will come and throw such jibes at the social media. The true son and soil, a true daughter and son of Ambazonia, who is feeling the same pinch, just like me, the problem of marginalization. Instead, they were only calling me back on the phone that you are our inspiration, keep up.
Wow.
They were taking informations. Others, when I stayed here in Belgium and organized protest movement in Bangem, talking to them, if I made an audio, they will go out. Made a video, they will be out. On the 17th of on September, that is 17th, 2017, 1st of October, when Sisiko declared the restoration of independence, I carried out a campaign and organized a movement in Bangem, and everybody was out.
Wow.
So there wasn't any difference. The distance doesn't matter. With the advent of social media, telephones, where you talk with people there and they get your voice, they know you are the person talking, they feel you. Then they do what they have to do, because they just needed sensitization and encouragement for they to stand up and fight for their rights. Just like you have Cheruma, Issa Cheruma is calling his people to come out, and they are coming out. He's in Garoua, but people are coming out in Bafoussam. So that is how it is.
Have there been moments where you felt the cost of your activism, either emotionally or socially or even financially?
Yeah. Emotionally, I know the road I've taken as an activist. I can't visit my family. I can't see them back in Cameroon. I only talk with them on phone. So that physical, that emotional meeting with my people, my blood, my siblings, that is the most important thing. Financially is not a problem because here I work. If it was just finance, nobody will have a problem.
So how do you deal with it? How do you deal with the emotional aspect of knowing that you have, you have intentionally, or you have self-exiled yourself from your family? How do you feel?
You can title it as a self-exile. It's not a self-exile, because if I could speak out just like people are speaking out in Belgium without any fear of repercussion, without any fear of arrest, then there shouldn't be anything. Then I will still go to Cameroon and meet my people. I don't have any problem now for now, because they have understood that it's because of what I'm standing for that I can't visit them. But they believe that one day God will do the right thing, and the people of Ambazonia, this problem will come to an end with success on our side, and therefore we can reunite.
Yeah. Wow. So you mentioned that you have been threatened, and also sometimes people online they threaten your family members because of your presence, your activism, or because of your just because of your presence online as an activist. So, can you give us some examples of what kind of threats you've received and what have they materialized some of the threats and how have you dealt with those threats?
For example, there is one popular blackleg. We call him a blackleg. He's an Anglophone. Many people know him. Njume Franklin. Many people know that name. He has been fighting against us, his people, standing with La République, saying he was one Cameroon, an agent of an indivisible Cameroon. He hails from Tombe subdivision under my division. Then I guess he's an old man. He's a bigger man. He knows me well and surely know my family because I saw what he wrote and I showed to the Belgian government or the authority when I was presenting my case. He said, "You Zale Clovis Songe." He quoted all my names. "You have been a student in GBHS. You studied. You had all your certificates there. But now you are encouraging students to boycott school. You are a terrorist. I know your sister." He called the name. I don't want to put my sister's name here.
Yeah.
Call this one. I know where they live. Tricona, this Tombe. If you don't stop that madness, we shall arrest them or we shall hurt them. And he has been doing that to many others.
So when he mentioned that, was it just like an online threat, or did he go further to do any action, take any action?
He did that on my videos. I contacted him, inboxed him on Facebook. I told him, I'm fighting for a genuine cause. I tried to sensitize him. He never heard.
Okay.
I have one of my family sister who is a teacher.
Yeah.
Who got a matricle also. For that reason, they were delaying to post her.
Process a payment.
No, to give her where she has to teach. I know those are some of the jobs.
So you think that because of the fact that you have been online as a political activist, your family has suffered from
my activities as an activist.
Okay. Wow. And I don't know sometimes that your family, because of this, because I understand that they are on ground zero, because of this, do they not sometimes blame you for some of their, for instance, your sister's, she got her matricle, but then she wasn't being assigned. And someone would say this is because they have one of their sons who is a political activist.
Yeah.
So does she, for instance, sometimes not blame you for her not being assigned for her, I don't want to say for her unemployment because she's got a matricle. So does she blame you sometimes for the fact that she's not being assigned?
Yeah, she blames me. She say I don't pity her, knowing her situation and then knowing my role in
the struggle.
In the struggle, I know the consequences. But I replied her that the goal of freeing Ambazonia is more important than an individual achievement, a single person achievement. If Ambazonia, even if, God forbid, we don't become an independent state, but if those problems are solved and we are our own separate people to manage our things, but still under Cameroon, the condition will be better than the matricle that you are crying. You people will not cry for no roads, no water, no electricity, marginalization. You will not have Francophones coming to be governors. We don't know governors. You will not have Francophones in those courts. You will manage your things and things will be good. Look at the picture on a bigger side rather than looking at your individual achievement. I added to her that the people, other people who are fighting as activists, some are even carrying weapons who are defending you people. Don't you know those people also have their family members?
Yeah.
So if everybody said, I have my sister, my brother, then nobody will fight and nothing will change. For a change to come, there should be some people at the forefront to effect that change, and sacrifices need to be made for any change, reasonable change, to be realized.
Yeah, that's kind of true. So do you think that activism gives you purpose? Because you did mention in the beginning that you are doing God's work. So
Yes.
do you feel like activism gives you a sense of gives you purpose, and or does it sometimes feel like it's a burden? Of course, you can be sincere, because of course it's not easy to carry the mantle as an activist, because all the insults, and sometimes when you have like good achievements, some people might not even remember the activists. They might just be enjoying. And sometimes when things are not going, they will blame the activists.
Yeah.
So do you feel like it's a purpose? Do you feel like this is your purpose to be an activist, or do you feel it's a purpose and at the same time you also feel like it's a burden?
Yeah, I feel it's a big purpose to me, because if Mandela would have stood down because of insult, he also had black legs where he was fighting to free his people from white domination in South Africa. He had black legs.
Yeah.
They would have thrown the button and said, no, I end here. But today, he's celebrated. We will not say all the problems have been solved in South Africa, but at least 50% of what they needed. They have had a black president a number of times. They have lands. That is how we look at it. So sometimes I also feel it's a burden when I see we have some problems on our side, delay, disunity. I see it as a burden.
Yeah.
But when I look at the bigger picture, I say even within a nuclear family, there are always disagreements. So
of course.
With this such disagreement, we will still come to one and move forward.
Wow, that's true. So, what was the hardest part of accepting that? For now, we can say that you may never return home. So, what has been the hardest part? Because as an activist, and now a refugee, because you are no longer an asylum seeker, now you can be classified as a refugee. Not classified, you are a refugee now. Because an asylum seeker is someone who is still seeking asylum, but now when you are granted asylum, you become a refugee. So, and now when you, as a refugee, we all know that refugee never go back to their home country. So what is the hardest part of accepting that you may, I'm not saying that you're not, that you may never go back home? Because some people might not actually see this part. Some people don't realize that as a refugee, there's this very most important point that you are never, or you might never go home, which is everybody wants to always, no matter how far you go, everybody wants to return home. So what is the hardest part accepting this fact?
Thinking about that is only when I see the problem keep on persisting.
Yeah.
But I know there is a light at the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel. We have been fighting for 9 years. La Republique has been unable to defeat us. We are becoming more sophisticated than we were last 2 years, last 3 years. There will be a time, there is going to come a time that La Republique will sit on the table for a genuine dialogue, and from that period, there will be a solution. No problem will last forever. But if it has to last forever, and then I have to be the sacrificial lamb for those people who will be unable to go back there, then I will need to fight for others, the other generations, not to come and continue for things to be better. And then I accept that burden to know that I will never go home.
Wow. And how do you grieve a country that still exists? Because now, at this moment, you're not going back to your home. And when somebody loses something, if you lost a child, or if you lost a family member, if you lost a friend, you grieve. Yes. So now in this case, I can assume, or that we can assume, that you've lost a home. Yeah. So how do you grieve how do you grieve a country that still exists? Because you have lost a home, but that home is still there.
Still there.
Because it's like okay, if I lost my dad, I will be grieving because I know that he's no longer existing.
Yeah.
But you have lost something that is still existing. So how do you grieve a country that still exists but no longer welcomes you?
Yeah, the only way to grieve a country that exists and that no longer welcomes me is to keep on fighting. That is the only grief. Because when you keep on fighting, you will succeed. If you don't succeed for you to visit, you will succeed for others to visit. And that will give you joy even at your grave.
So do you think that because when you came to Belgium, you were a student and you had no plans of being an activist?
Yes.
So do you feel like you have had to reinvent your identity? Or are you still holding to who you are? Because when you came to Belgium a couple of years ago, you were not an activist. You became an activist in Belgium. So do you feel that you've, I wouldn't say change, I would rather say reinvent. Do you feel you've reinvented yourself?
No, what I think is that everybody has an inborn talent.
Yeah.
There is a purpose. It's just for a particular incident to spark it.
Then for it to come out.
For it to come out.
So you think you're a born activist?
I'm a born activist. I'm a born fighter for people who want justice.
That's a good one. You're a born fighter for people who want justice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So what parts of your culture or your past struggle do you still keep alive?
Yeah, I still keep my dialect. It's part of my culture.
Okay.
And I would have liked to also, because I think the Bakosi people here from Kupemu and Nguba, they have associations.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to be a member within the associations. But because they don't have a purpose of
existence,
for fighting for things that are right, I don't find myself because...
So what you're trying to say is that you're not with them because they don't have the same ideology.
Not because they don't have the same ideology. They don't have to be members of Ambazonia movement. They don't have to be activists.
Yeah.
But there are basic things that if you leave your home, for example, you come from Tombe, and you have an association here made of 50 people.
Yeah.
You hear there is an outbreak of cholera in one village without roads, nothing, no water. What can you do? You don't come here to be drinking wine.
Yeah, you should.
You say, no, this is not because of Ambazonia, but because we originate from here. How can we help these people?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can we make 2,000 euros and give them 1 million support for generic drugs against cholera, clean water? You try, but they don't do like that. Therefore,
so what you mean is that the goals and their objectives of existence are not coherent with what you would imagine.
So then I shouldn't be wasting my time, me fighting for people, for the betterment and the truth, the justice of people. Then I go and join a group that is not even up to date to help humanitarian, to give humanitarian aid, not Ambazonia. People don't understand. That is why I'm not there.
But my question is not about you joining a group that will necessarily want to help support. Because, I mean, just because I am from a particular village or a particular set of people, I must not, that's my personal opinion. I must not necessarily save everybody. Yeah. I must not necessarily go there and say, because I'm here, I will save everybody. Of course, because you can never save everybody. You can never solve every problem. So my question was, how do you, because of course you are outside of your country, but as an African person, you still want to keep like your culture.
Yes.
You still want to, because especially for someone who may not return back to their country, you still want to be in exile, but still feel connected to your homeland.
Yeah.
So my question is, how do you navigate this? How do you feel this? Of course, you could necessarily, you could be, like you said, you can be a member of the Bakosi group.
That's it.
But if the Bakosi group does not have as objective or goals to demonstrate culture or to promote culture, you don't necessarily need to join it, because you know that you might not necessarily get culture there. If the objectives of that group is to eat and drink, there's not going to be any promotion of culture in that group. So now that you do not belong to that group, how do you then emulate or relieve your culture while being in Belgium?
Culture is in many, many other forms.
You did mention language.
The thing that I miss, you miss things like your traditional dishes.
But you can cook your traditional dishes?
That's it. When I go to the African shops here, everything that I need, that is it from my traditional meal.
You can have it.
Black soup. I maintain my culture through that.
Through food, through the cuisine.
Through food.
Through the language as well?
Through the language. Through the type of African wares. You have shops here that are from our place. You try to keep that up to date. You can't keep everything, but you try to do that.
So those are the things that keep you alive.
To think that at least, though I can't step there, but I can eat at least fufu and zabagen, which is from Bakosi. I can have it here at least.
Yeah. Okay. So have you ever felt ashamed or conflicted about your refugee status? Have you ever been to a place or to a gathering or to an office or in a public space or just personally? Have you ever had a moment where you sit like and ask yourself, but why am I a refugee? Or have you ever felt conflicted with yourself or feel ashamed, like even in the public, and you meet people and then they say, oh, that's a refugee, or that's a political asylum, or that he was a political asylum seeker, because I can't call you a political asylum seeker anymore. Now you're a refugee. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever had that feeling?
No. In the other end, it should be pride.
Okay.
You have Belgium. You have 3 languages here. Belgium they fought.
Yeah.
People who fought for the Flemish to keep their identity, their culture, which is the Flemish. You can't see a Frenchman coming to teach here in Leuven to come and teach French. Instead, if those people were jailed and because there was a solution now, and then their culture has been maintained, those people have become national pride.
Yeah.
So instead, I'm proud to say that I'm fighting for the betterment of my people rather than someone who is here only to drink champagne, go to party, they call you president. You don't stand for anything. You stand here in Belgium where Belgium fought. You are enjoying on the blood of people.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
replicating what good countries they have fought. So I have the pride. I'm very, very proud to stand. I like if somebody identify me, that is an Amber, that is a political. I'm very happy because when you go to detail, then they start explaining he stands for this because they are marginalizing this. Then you understand the knowledge that he is doing the right thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean that's a better way to answer that question. I mean I didn't think like that because but yeah, that's kind of because we all know that Belgium and like other Western countries fought several wars. So, what does healing look like when the wound is political?
Yeah, when the wound is political, there should be a dialogue, a real dialogue.
So, okay, let me put it this way. How does healing look like when the wound is political, personal, because it's personal to you, indirectly personal to you, because you are a son of
it's
of
indirect, personal to me. Yeah, but on the larger picture,
the larger perspective is
I look at the wound, the political wound, more in a larger form. The people of Ambazonia have a political wound. Yeah. That is what I'm concerned with.
How does healing look like?
So if there should be healing, that wound should be healed with an open heart. Yeah. Everything should be done justly. There should be justice for the people who have that wound. Yeah. who happens to be Amazonians, if they give them political justice, the wound will heal.
Okay. Wow. That's a political answer, because you say if they give the political justice, the wound will heal. But someone will ask you, what is political justice?
Yeah, political justice simply means where I was trying to drive. If they say, okay, La Republique say, I've realized that I made an error. Now I really want to discuss, let's talk in peace and find solutions. That will be first step of healing that political wound. But if you don't want to come out with a genuine dialogue, a genuine discussion, open-minded discussion, then that wound can never heal. And that is, let me take you back, that is why you see all these fraudulent negotiations, special national dialogue, special statute, nothing is changing. Instead, it's becoming more powerful. We are becoming more powerful because we know the political wound is still there. But if they came out, let me quote Cheruma. Cheruma said that he apologized to the Anglophones, to the people of Northwest and Southwest, as they put. That what he ever said as the spokesman, communication minister, is not his thought. They were not his thought, but those are the information that his job required him to say. He has to say what they put in front of him. That secondly, he is ready, if he wins, to come on the table, he himself with his people, free all the people that they have incarcerated.
Yeah, but someone might say that, okay, that is another political statement from
it's
another politician.
You will say it's a political statement. You only judge him where he wins and he doesn't respect that. But better you do that. Because
better say that and then don't do it.
Because those people...
They have not acknowledged it. The other people have not said
it. That is how the political wounds start healing. You people start... You hear that man, he says that he will remove people. Because there are people who are hurting because you put their people in jail forever.
That's right.
So when you start freeing them, the healing process starts from there. That is what I think.
So now let's go to the section where we explore your belongingness now into what I call your new home. Because if someone were to analyze what we have been saying so far, they would assume that, or they would conclude that you have found, or you are finding a new home now where you are. So if someone were to ask you, what does home mean to you now? Is it Belgium? Or your memories that you had many years ago? Or is it something else?
It's Belgium.
Okay.
Yeah. Because what you can say, a country that offers you protection, clothe you, take care of your health, and gives you any other thing at that moment should be, if you reason where, your country, your home.
Yeah, that's true. So have you found people, places, activities, or hobbies that make you feel safe, feel seen, and feel welcome in Belgium?
Yes. When I was doing the Dutch, the language and integration, during the integration, we visited the Belgian Senate, that is the parliamentary building there, the assembly. We visited the European Parliament. We visited Leuven, the iconic building there. And there they gave us explanations that I've never had such explanations, even when I was home. They take you here, show you, this was the king of this. This king came, this. This is how he ruled. This is, you feel, they took us in many places where they sing music, they showed us the culture, they told us the type of food that the Belgians like, that is potatoes, the bread. They start teaching you their culture. And then we made a lot of friends. I have friends till date.
So do you have mostly friends from back home, or do you have a mix of friends?
I have a mix of friends.
That's nice. And now that you're talking about integration, so what does integration look like when your heart is still, I'm not 100% sure. You have to tell us, how does integrating, because once you're integrating in a new place, that means you are gradually making it home, of which you have already confirmed that Belgium is your home. So now, I think this question might just be a repetition, because my question was going to be, in the scenario where home was not Belgium, I was going to ask you, how does integration look like when your heart is somewhere? Because if you are integrating into a new place, that means you are integrating there to make it a new home.
A new home.
So, well, now that you've integrated already, so how do you think, or do you see yourself reintegrating back into your community whenever the situation is stable, or whenever, let's say 2 years from now, 1 year from now, few months from now, 10, 20 years from now, Amazonia is granted freedom, we got freedom, and then you have to return. What do you think is going to happen? Are you sure you would want to go back to home, or would you rather stay in your new home, or what do you think?
No, home is home. Some people have more than 3 homes.
Yeah.
When you get married to a woman and you are welcome there, even her own home, the village where you go there, the way they receive you as it becomes your home. Yeah. So that is the example. The way Belgium have integrated and they welcome me, the opportunities is my home.
Yeah.
But in my former home that I was forced there because of problems, because of war, I still speak the dialect. I still know, if I come, I know this is this. So it wouldn't take any problem for me to go back if we really have a solution and integrate there.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. And do you think that as a person who has acquired home, because this is like you have been naturalized, or you have this acquisition, home by acquisition. So do you think that people who acquire a new home, like without birth rights, do you think that, for instance, Belgium allow this kind of people to strive or just to survive? Because there's a difference between a country allowing you to become who you want to become, and there's a difference between people who are allowed to just survive. Do you think you are allowed to just survive or to thrive?
I think both are possible, but they depend on the percentage.
Okay.
The first thing is that any person coming in Belgium must, first of all, know that in his or her mind that because the language is culture. That is the first thing in any country.
Yeah.
Because the language is not your mother tongue, you cannot strive as a real Belgian.
Yeah.
This is his country.
Okay.
It will need to take you extra effort for you to be like them.
So what you're saying is that the opportunity is there for you to strive if you want to strive.
Yes.
So there are no restrictions to allow certain people of certain descent to just survive.
No, because I think like when at first I was also saying, I will be saying that these Belgian people, they don't like stranger. No, because I've seen others who have studied, who when they said they want to study the language, they don't say this language is country talk. They put then they know it, and the pronunciation
it's fluent.
Yeah, I see where they are. It's better off than someone who just come. No, I just want to learn it to have 1.2 so that I can have nationality. With that idea, you can't strive. You will just survive. But someone who is bent and really become like them. For example, the mayor of Leuven is from Morocco. So if you do like that, you can make it. Yeah.
Wow. So I'm going to go back a little bit. So you spoke about the time when you were a student, and then how you became an asylum seeker. And then let's take us back to the time when you were an asylum seeker. How did you survive during the long wait? Because I can imagine, of course, they told you that your procedure, because you were in a close camp, was going to take 2 months. But I can imagine it didn't take 2 months.
Yeah.
So how did you survive during the long wait? Because I know that typically asylum procedures in Belgium take, let's say, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years, depending on every case is different. So how did you survive during this asylum wait procedure? What mentally, financially, and even spiritually, how did you survive within this time?
Yeah, the first part of it, when I was freed from the camp, from the deportation camp, I was given assistance, financial assistance.
Okay.
Because when your case is already there on that case, you will have a quick decision. Because they freed me from there. When I came out, the first 6 months, immediately I scribed. That is where I started the integration and the Dutch.
Yeah.
As I was doing that, and while waiting, they were assisting me financially with the living girl. That is the amount to live, same way.
Yeah.
To take care of my basic needs.
Yeah.
And I did appreciate that. That ended after 8 months when a decision came out, negative.
Okay.
And I appealed, it was still negative. From that period, I had no assistance anymore.
Okay.
I reactivated my asylum condition. I said they didn't treat my asylum well. Now I'm a full-fledged blown activist. And they were seeing me. They follow you, they know. I did that again for a number of months. It wasn't granted. But after, and I was praying.
Okay.
And how to survive.
So you're a Christian?
A Christian. How to survive as well. I had friends like you people. If someone wants to, Songo, I want to move, parking, I will go there, I'll help you.
So you were doing like menial jobs?
Yeah, I will do a menial job. The person knows my situation that this man is still struggling. He's not paying you, he's just helping you.
Yeah.
You can help him for 2-3 hours, but because he knows your situation, he will say, take this 100 euro and keep, you can buy food. All those type of things.
So you're acknowledging the fact that you got support from other, from friends,
yes,
from foreigners, from
yes,
just okay. That's nice. So and did you because of these situations, did you have to, because I imagine you were studying, you had you had 2 masters already then. Did you have to put your dreams on hold, like education, career, or relationships? Did you have because of this? Yeah. Because of that situation, did you have to put?
You have to do that because being illegal here, your diploma they don't count. Any application you file in for a job,
you require a permit to work.
They require to see that you are legal, even if it's just legal for 1 day.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Yeah. Once you do that, when you don't have an ID card, you are illegal. You can't. So the dreams were put on hold.
Wow.
There, completely.
And so, what does instability mean to you now? And do you feel like you have achieved it? Or sorry, not instability, stability. Do you feel that you have achieved stability now that you have been granted asylum? So, yeah, unlike when you were stable, unlike when you didn't have like the right to work, the right to go to school, the right to move. Of course, you were very unstable. You're very unstable. And now that you're stable, what does stability mean to you?
Yeah, stability, you can say you have achieved stability, but always you will still want stability with time. Yeah. If you buy this car today, that was what you wanted. No, I want this. It shows that you are not stable with that car. You want another one. But in a general view of things, I've attained at least 70% stability. I can work, take care of myself, take care of my family, help others. I can move freely with dignity without being fear of being arrested that you are illegal. I can go to one office to another. I can apply for many, many other things. So that is stability.
So now that you mentioned being let's say, for instance, 70% stable, or yeah, it fluctuates. You can. So how do you how have you ever have you ever felt guilty of having a kind of, let's say, in quotes, stable life here while others back home are still struggling?
No, because my stability here extends to the people back home. What I work, I'm still an activist.
No, I don't mean your direct family. Of course, your direct family is gonna kind of
No, not direct family. That is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Still within the ranks of Amazonian movement, I assist people, refugees, people whose home have been burnt.
Yeah.
Some are in Nigeria, some are in Ghana. A problem comes up, they will say this mommy don't born for bush. This girl don't with a newborn baby. Not. I always contribute. We do contribution.
Nice.
Ship down.
Nice.
Ship even down in my own place.
That's good.
I keep up. That is how we do it.
So, if I would ask you now, how do you feel motivated when the future feels very, very, very uncertain? Because it's for you as an activist outside Amazonia or outside your home country is different.
That's it.
Because sometimes you might easily give up. You might easily say, okay, anyway, I'm kind of okay now. So how do you feel? What gives you motivation when you're not sure of if is the situation going down, or what is it going to take 1 year? Is it going to take 2 years? Is it going to take 3? So how do you feel motivated when the situation is very uncertain now?
Yeah, the problem is hope. You must be pessimistic.
Yeah.
And then you still have people on ground zero who, despite facing the harsh conditions, they are still telling you, they talk to us that we listen from you people, and they are still doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You see, people are still respecting the Monday goes down. That is country Sunday. Then how will you say, because I've become stable, I should abandon people that I'm supposed to lead?
Yeah. So let's go a little bit to let's talk a little bit about politics. Do you still follow Cameroonian politics closely, or have you emotionally distanced yourself from it?
I follow it closely because Cameroon politics, what happened in Cameroon will determine what happens in Amazonia.
That's nice. So what do you think about the current political situation in Cameroon? Does it stir hope, anger, or is it indifference to you? Because of course you just said that whatever happens there in the neighboring country is going to determine what happens to. So now that and of course it's also good that we are having this podcast today. So how do you think the political situation is going to impact? Because before we got the results, because of course you and I, we know the results have been announced today, and we know that Pobia is still going to win. It's still going to win. So what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to be? What is the political situation now? How is it going to steer our the Amazonian struggle, or what impact does it have?
Yeah, the political situation in Cameroon is very, very dangerous right now, but with a lot of hope, because once in our lives, the first time we have seen Cameroonians from all walks of life, east to west, north to south, have gotten out massively first. They're inscribed on the election register about 8 million people. Yeah. That was a sign. And they voted outrightly, clearly, for a change. I know there is hope. They have been respecting all the protest actions that have been called by the president who have been elected.
So now you're talking about the president who has been elected. So Issa Chiroma Bakari claimed, because that's the claim, he claimed that he was victorious in the 2025 presidential election in Cameroon. So, and considering that, of course, this claim was right after the voting took place. So, considering the fact that Paul Biya is going to win or has already won,
Yeah.
what do you think is going to be the pushback from either the nation or Issa Chiroma himself?
It's not just the pushback of the nation.
Yeah.
The nation has spoken, and they have spoken outrightly clear for a victory. That is what you see on the ground. It's not what the Constitutional Council reads.
Because the Constitution...
I'm coming.
Okay.
The voice of the people overrides any institution put in place by any individual.
Yeah.
So there is hope that the Cameroonian people are yearning for change and that things are not going to be the same, even if, as they have declared Biya the winner. None of us knows what is coming tomorrow, but we know that the political atmosphere, the political situation now, it will be tough.
Do you foresee like war, or do you foresee like crisis?
I'm coming. That there should even be a coup, but I shouldn't be putting it out here. I know, and I believe, I strongly believe that there is something on the pipe. And on our own side, what is the help? The help is enormous.
Yeah.
As La Republique is focusing its forces to try to quell down people who are reclaiming their just victory, there is less focus in Ambazonia. Many soldiers will be taken to come because the protest movement is all over La Republique. Yeah. So that is a big push for us, for us to beef up well again and do things properly in our own advantage while waiting for the proper outcome. We know the outcome, the person they have declared, but we know what will happen. That there will be something that will be terrible.
So if I would ask you, if you had the possibility to vote,
yes,
would you have voted, and who would you have voted for? And would you have been voting with the hope that there's going to be change, knowing the corrupt system of Cameroon?
Yeah.
Would you have gone to vote, and would you have been voting for change, or would you have just waited to say, okay, whatever results comes out, we are going to protest?
Yeah. Before you protesting, you must give people the right that you own something to protest about. Okay. If everybody stood home and never voted, nobody will come and protest. It's because people voted. So if I had the opportunity, I will vote.
And who would you have voted for?
I will vote for Issa Chiroma.
Okay.
As per his political agenda that he has shown.
Yeah.
I'm not God. I don't know his mind, if he will change, like you said.
Yeah.
If he takes power, that he will not come and discuss. But he said he will do what we all want and what the international community wants.
Okay, so assuming that, okay, you would have voted for Issa Chiroma, and then the outcome becomes the outcome that we all know.
Yeah.
Paul Biya wins.
Yeah.
And then would you, like you said, you want that people should go out and fight for their decision?
Yeah.
Because the nation has chosen change. Yes. Knowing the country as it is, we know the regime. We know that it's a very suppressive regime. We know that they don't value human life. Once they're going to deploy the same tactics that they deployed to the people of Ambazonia to suppress them with ammunition and whatever, when this is going to happen to the people of La Republique, to the people of the Cameroonians who did vote, they're going to protest, and then they're going to be repressed by the militia, by the military, and then let's say a couple of weeks, a couple of months, everything goes back to normal. The new regime is there. Paul Biya is there. Another 7 years to go. What do you wish that this same regime should do? Because I'm assuming that the people have fought for their voices to be heard, and the voices have not been heard. What would you wish for the same regime to do differently that have not been done to the people of Ambazonia or to the struggle of Ambazonia?
Yeah, same wish that I've had since the beginning of this war
And what has been your wish?
They should come to the table, to the negotiation table with open minds and discuss clearly, peacefully to solve the situation. That is all. That is what even the international community have been calling. You saw when we took them to Canada, they endorsed, but they never came on the table. That is what people need. So that they come on the table.
Yeah. So talking about the international community, do you feel that the international community has failed Cameroon or has failed the people of Ambazonia, especially in addressing the Anglophone crisis?
Yes, they have failed the people of Ambazonia, but not Cameroon. Because let me tell you clearly, the international community cannot give Pobia weapons. They cannot back somebody who is 100 years, who is just few years to die, to plunge La République in a catastrophe. I know that is why you see Cheruma is surviving. The international community cannot do that.
So that means that the international community is also failing Cameroon, because if you, as a Cameroonian, is in Cameroon and you know that the international community is not willing to accept that there's a political crisis in one side of the country, you yourself living in that country, you are being fooled, because you cannot be living in the house and then the roof is burning in one section of the house, and you are sitting comfortable because it's not yet on your outside. Because
that is the idea all of them had.
So that means that the international community has failed Cameroon as a whole.
The idea that Cameroonians have, the people of French origin, they see us as a farm where they collect, they harvest everything. So don't think that any of them would have stood up at that moment to say, no, this is not good. All of them see us as where they benefit. Yes, collecting everything from us. But it's only when something like that happen in their own place that you are seeing now they are feeling the real weight and they are withstanding the weight. Therefore, if they survive this situation, then things will be also better. They will need to come to the table.
So let's go to the part where this is reflecting what we have been talking about now. So after all these experiences that you've had, after all this, there's not been we can be speaking, we are speaking now and the listeners are listening and the viewers, it might sound easy, but these are years of endurance, years of patience, years of struggle, and of course, continuous years of struggle. So if I would ask you what has this journey taught you about resilience? What has this journey taught you about hope? What has it taught you about sacrifice?
That's a very good question for me. I've realized that with anything you want to achieve in life, you have to be persevering. Anything you want to achieve in life, you have to believe in what you want.
Yep.
You have to endure and you keep focus. So this long period has taught me how to remain focused, on how to remain resilient, and also how to remain pessimistic in anything I want to do in life. I should apply those principles in them.
Has it also taught you to be humble?
Yes.
So life has humbled you?
Exactly.
Nice. So if you could speak to your younger self, the student who arrived in Belgium some years ago, what would you say?
Yeah, I can simply tell the students that are coming now.
No, I mean, not the students that are coming
or
now.
Who came when.
No, this is about you. So
okay.
if you could speak to yourself, but your younger self, if you could speak to your younger self when you came as a student.
Yeah.
Because when you came as a student, you didn't know all of this was going to happen.
All of this was
so now knowing what has happened, of course, you still don't know what is going to happen from next year or tomorrow. We don't know.
Exactly.
But now, based on the experience or the experiences you have had within these past years, if you would be able to advise your younger self or prepare your younger self, that younger self is a student who arrived in Belgium. What would you say to this younger self of yours?
I would have simply said, as a student arriving in Belgium at that time, just myself. Focus, since Belgium is your port of entry, acquire the degree that you have to acquire and move to another country that is more open, that can offer you jobs, such as Canada, job after your studies, such as even Germany, because Germany does not need that you do the language. You look at such country and move.
So if you would have come like 10 years ago, you would have finished your studies and then you would have gone
to such countries that gives you a job directly afterwards. And
do you still, even though you've made Belgium your home now, do you still dream of returning home one day, or have you made peace with the new reality? Because now you did tell us that Belgium is now a home for you.
Yes.
But do you still dream? Let's forget about the fact that we are hoping that Amazonia is granted freedom. Let's forget about Amazonia. Let's assume that Amazonia is, even if Amazonia is granted freedom, do you still dream that you want to return back home?
Yeah, and during my old age.
So during your old age, you don't want to, you don't see yourself living in Belgium.
Then it's better to be there.
And now, so let's fast forward 40 years from now, 40 years ahead. We are in 40 years ahead. Amazonia still doesn't have freedom.
Yes.
And you are in Belgium.
Yes.
How do you feel? How do you think you're going to feel? You think you're going to still feel that this is your home?
It will still be my home because there is no other home there.
So is it going to be a home because there is no option of home?
Yeah, because there is no option.
Or is it going to be a home because you have made it, you have accepted the reality that this is home?
First, if I've lived here 40 years, that shows this is my home.
Okay.
But optional, if there was
a possibility to go back,
then I could go back during the old age. But 40 years, just 15 years that we have been here, I see this my home.
Nice. Yeah. So what message now, because this is a message that you're going to, so what message would you share with someone listening who is still waiting or still hoping and still being afraid? So what I mean by someone who is still waiting, someone who is, let's say, still in the process, an asylum process like you. It could be because there are different reasons for asylum. Yeah. Someone who could be in an asylum process because of gender-based violence, political instability, could be whatever asylum process that you are. What message would you like to share to someone listening to this podcast now?
Yeah, my message to people who are still waiting for the asylum procedures or still on the asylum procedures is that this is not an easy road as people may think. First and foremost, they have to be resilient, persistent with their story, with their claims. Thirdly, make sure that their claims are genuine. They shouldn't be
not economic asylum.
Yeah, they shouldn't be opportunistic asylum seekers or economic asylum seekers. Make sure what you are asking reflect what you stand for.
Yeah.
If you do that, no matter the long wait, you will emerge victorious.
Nice. That's a good one. So we are almost at the end of the podcast, and I think I still have like one or two questions left for you. So, how do you define success now? Or how did you define success before you moved to Belgium, and how do you define success now? Because of course, before you moved, you had a different definition of success. And now that you've lived in Belgium, or now that you've gotten older, you see life in a different perspective. So now how do you define success And has this definition, or what has been the trigger point for the change definition? Because if your definition has changed from what used to be success and now success has changed, what has triggered that change?
Yeah, the way I look at success, when I was coming here, I knew studying and acquiring a degree, then you go back and work in Cameroon with it, you are you are successful.
Yeah.
But since it never happened, I saw that as some sort of failure being unsuccessful. But now, fast forward, the way I look at success here, one should be you find ways to settle your situation here. First thing for you to succeed in Belgium or any other European country, you must have your legal stay. Secondly, if that country has a different language is culture, you should you should make sure that you study their culture, the language, their law, respect their laws, and then also you try to make sure that you look at the open opportunities in the domain of jobs.
Yeah.
And if you put those things together, then you are in line, then you are succeeding. Because when you speak the language like we are speaking now, at least you can have a job. You can take care of other things.
Yeah.
With a job, you can start changing. You acquire a home and many other things. But without the papers, you don't know the language, it's difficult for you to succeed. No papers, no documents. So with documents, a job, you have some level of success because you are free to do things.
So now, as an activist, I would like to give you the opportunity to, to speak to the people, to your followers, to your nation, to your struggle. So you can. This is the last word. So as an activist, of course, people that follow you, they're gonna watch this podcast, they're gonna listen to it. So I want you to give them like a message of hope, or like, I don't know, whatever message you want to share to the people of Ambazonia.
Yes.
It's all up to you. Anything you want to tell them, any words of support, any words of encouragement, anything you want to tell the people of Ambazonia.
Fellow viewers, dear Ambazonians, people of British Southern Cameroon, West Cameroon, today known as Ambazonia, Federal Republic of Ambazonia, I wish to address you people directly, giving you messages of hope that justice delayed is not justice denied. Mandela fought for years and years, and they got what they wanted. Many other revolutions have taken place. If you hear Guinea Equatorial, Guinea-Bissau, all of them have been one Guinea. By having those names, that it means something happened before they had their own names. Somaliland, you have seen many other places that revolutions have taken places. So ours is not different. We know there is suffering, starvation during this period. That is the big sacrifice that you people back there on Ground Zero are paying. But know that your sacrifices shall never go in vain, because you must keep the hope that we are going to be a free people and we are going to achieve our goal. Because if you leave this fight half, then your children will keep on fighting, and then it doesn't make sense. So we need to fight just once and finish the fight and liberate our people, and freedom is coming. We will be free no matter the time, but not far from now. There is a message of hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, people.
Thank you very much. And that is it for today's episode. Wish that you guys enjoyed it. And please, if you still do not follow us, kindly hit the subscribe button. while listening, watching, and also please don't forget to share. And thank you very much once more, Songo.
A pleasure.